Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are doing a really specific deep dive. We're targeting the communications sent out by SEI REMC and SEI Fiber.
Right, specifically the December 2025 bill insert and the REMC Connect magazine.
Exactly. And our mission isn't just to, read the news. It's to cut through all of that and find immediate, actionable value. We're looking for money savings, efficiency hacks, and some crucial insights into how this co-op actually works.
That's right, because when you're a member of a co-op, these aren't just notices. They're a direct line to understanding your investment and your rights, really, as an owner. So we've synthesized this stack of sources to give you a kind of strategic roadmap.
And we've boiled it down to three main themes. Right?
Yeah, a few big themes. Maximizing your smart savings, ensuring safe and smart connectivity in the home, and then unpacking the surprising depth of the cooperative's community power.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, the identity of the organization. The mission, as they stated, is to safely provide reliable electricity and diversified services. But the key difference here is that cooperative structure.
The foundational difference is it's just crucial. Members are the owners.
Right.
And that means their whole motive, their reason for investment and for delivering service, it's fundamentally different from a typical, say, investor-owned utility.
An IOU.
Yeah, an IOU, where the priority is always going to be shareholder returns.
And what does being an owner mean for you, the member?
Well, it means you have a voice. You actually get to vote for the board of directors, and critically, it affects the money. Any excess margins don't get paid out to, distant investors.
They're reinvested.
They're reinvested into the system, or they're returned directly to you as capital credits.
That capital credit system, that really defines the whole financial loop, doesn't it?
It really does. It means the utility isn't incentivized to overcharge or maximize profit. They operate at cost. And if they generate a surplus, that money eventually cycles back to the people who paid into the system in the first place.
So it builds trust.
It establishes trust because their financial motive aligns directly with your interests, affordability, and reliability.
Okay, so let's connect that financial picture to one of the biggest challenges utilities are facing today, infrastructure cost, especially with massive new loads like, say, data centers coming online.
Yes, and the CEO's message addresses this head-on. There's a clear member concern about the astronomical cost of infrastructure.
And that makes sense. People are asking, am I going to have to foot the bill for all this industrial growth?
Exactly, and what's fascinating here is the mechanism they're using to protect the existing members.
So how are they doing that? How do they make sure residential rates don't absorb the cost of some huge new project?
They manage this by working hand-in-hand with their wholesale supplier, Hoosier Energy. The core principle is that cost responsibility must align strictly with the specific load growth that's driving those costs. So they proactively monitor these large load projects.
To make sure that if system upgrades are needed for that one project, the financial responsibility is allocated fairly.
Fairly and transparently, rather than just being spread across all the members. It's a mechanism designed to prevent cross-subsidization.
That proactive monitoring is a really key strategic takeaway for members. And speaking of costs, the co-op provided a really useful breakdown of the 4 common culprits behind a higher electric bill.
Yes, this helps you figure out if a spike is external or something you can control.
It's an audit of your own home, really.
Exactly. The 4 drivers they list help you do just that. The first 2 are driven by you. Increase energy, use more devices, more people home, and then equipment or lifestyle changes.
Like running older appliances or having all those standby loads.
Mm-hmm. And the other 2 are external forces.
Right. Weather and seasonal extremes,
Yeah.
which, forces your HVAC unit to just run constantly.
And then external cost drivers, like fluctuations in fuel prices, which the co-op has less direct control over.
So that breakdown is really your first step towards savings.
And if we connect this to their advice, focusing on those standby loads is critical. You might have heard the term vampire drain.
That's the electricity drawn by TVs, phone chargers, gaming consoles, even when they're off.
Or just idle. And the simple, actionable tip they give is to compare your usage year over year to spot weird changes and then, critically, unplug devices that aren't in constant use.
Because those hidden loads can easily account for 5 to 10% of a monthly bill.
Easily if you have a lot of electronics.
Okay, so moving from that kind of defensive cost management to proactive savings, this is where the member benefits really start to stack up. Let's talk about the ecobee Smart Thermostat program.
This is a major perk. Members who enroll receive a free ecobee Smart Thermostat
And that's hundreds of dollars in hardware savings right there.
right out of the gate, but the value goes way beyond the free equipment.
So not only do you get this advanced tech to manage your heating, but the co-op actually pays you to use it smartly. You earn a $10 incentive for each winter month, December, January, February, that you participate in what they call load shed events.
And these load shed events are just small, temporary, automated adjustments to your thermostat during peak grid demand. You might not even notice the few degrees of difference.
But those small adjustments across thousands of homes make a massive difference for the whole system.
A massive difference.
So that brings up an important question. Why does the co-op pay me to do this? What's in it for them?
The strategic value for them is demand-side management. By temporarily reducing usage during peak stress time, say the coldest hour of the morning, the co-op avoids having to fire up expensive, rarely used peaker plants.
Or buy emergency power from the wholesale market, which I imagine is very expensive.
They're extremely expensive. So the money they spend on your $10 incentive is far, far less than what they'd have to pay to meet that unexpected power spike.
So it helps keep rates stable for everyone in the long run.
That's the goal. It makes the payment less of a handout and more of a strategic investment in grid stability.
All right, for something totally different now. Tackling winter chores. The electric outdoor equipment rebate seems like a fun way to save while upgrading your gear.
Oh, this is a fantastic way to incentivize the shift away from fossil fuels in your yard. Members get a $50 rebate when they buy eligible electric handheld equipment.
And that covers a lot. Snow blowers, which are key right now, but also trimmers, leaf blowers, chainsaws.
Even push lawnmowers and pressure washers.
The convenience is obvious. No gas, no fumes, no infuriating pull cords. But is there a deeper efficiency angle here for the utility?
There is. It's both. For the member, maintenance is easier, the equipment is quieter, but strategically, electric equipment only draws power when it is actively running.
Unlike a gas engine that's just idling.
Constantly running once you start it. So promoting efficient electric tools helps normalize using electricity for tasks that can often be timed to avoid peak hours. It creates a smoother demand curve overall.
So it all connects back to encouraging smarter energy use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so transitioning from efficiency to connectivity. We have to talk about the stress that new tech puts on a home network, especially around the holidays.
Oh, yeah. The source material notes that every new phone, tablet, smart TV, gaming console, it's like a little strain gauge on your network.
It's the reality for a modern family. Someone unwraps a new VR headset, and suddenly family movie night is just buffering.
And that's what SEI Fiber is addressing with their Platinum 2 gig plan.
Which they describe as their fastest speeds yet.
And it's engineered specifically for those serious simultaneous demands. If you've got multiple people on video call, streaming 4K video, and downloading huge game updates all at once, 2 gig capacity means you don't have to compromise.
And the really essential piece of hardware included with that plan is the Wi-Fi mesh extender.
That's no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. The mesh extender is vital for eliminating those dead zones. A traditional router, it loses signal strength through walls and across large spaces. A mesh system creates a unified blanket coverage.
So you get strong, consistent speed in the garage, the basement, wherever.
Exactly. Wherever your guests might be setting up their new devices.
And that leads perfectly into the smart home security checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Because adding new devices or inviting guests onto your network, that really changes your security profile.
It does. And security starts with the basics, but it needs depth. First, securing your Wi-Fi requires strong passwords and the latest encryption. The sources specifically say WPA3 or WPA2.
Okay, for those of us who aren't network engineers, can you just quickly explain why we should care about WPA3?
Sure. WPA3 is simply the newest security standard, and it offers significantly improved protection. It makes it dramatically harder for hackers to guess or crack your Wi-Fi password, even if they're physically close to your home.
So if your router supports it, use it.
Absolutely. It's a huge firewall upgrade.
Smart move. The second recommendation is setting up a dedicated guest network. This seems like common sense, but what's the key security benefit?
The guest network provides internet access without giving access to your private internal network. So if a visitor's tablet is compromised, or if your new, cheap, smart coffee maker has poor security, the threat is contained.
It's isolated.
It's isolated.
Ugh.
Your main computers, your personal files, they remain safely separated.
They also recommend updating firmware and hardware regularly, which is easy to forget, and planning ahead for 2026 by evaluating routers older than 5 years.
That's a good benchmark. That's when tech really starts falling behind on security and speed.
And the final fiber literacy tips are, well, they're non-negotiable for modern life.
They really are. Use unique, strong passwords for every single device and enable two-factor authentication or 2FA everywhere it's offered.
I always think of 2FA, where you need a password and a code from your phone, as the bare minimum barrier to entry today.
It is. But they take it a step further. They recommend separating your Internet of Things, your IoT devices, smart lights, thermostats, onto that guest network, which further protects your main computers.
That truly locks down your sensitive data. Since we're at the end of the year, we have to talk about immediate safety needs, especially with severe winter weather, often just around the corner.
The electrical safety tips they give are so simple, but they are life-saving. For holiday lights, the key is preventing overload. Never connect more than 3 strings of lights together.
That's a serious fire hazard.
A very serious one. And always, always turn them off or unplug them before you leave the house or go to sleep. And use only UL-certified decorations.
That UL label means they meet safety standards.
Right. And once heavy snow or ice hits, the rules outside change completely. You must never approach a downed power line. You have to assume it's live.
No matter how it looks.
No matter how it looks. And simple maintenance can prevent major damage. Keep your meters and outdoor vents clear of snow and ice.
And what about space heaters?
A critical winter warning. Space heaters are common, but they're so dangerous if used improperly. They have to be plugged directly into a wall outlet.
Never an extension cord.
Never. The cord can overheat. And keep the heater at least 3 feet away from anything, flammable, curtains, bedding, anything.
That focus on safety leads right into the planning for next year. The board approved the 2026 budget, and this gives us a great look into the co-op's priorities.
And this budget is a real commitment to reliability and proactive maintenance. On the electric side, they're funding line conversion projects and a significant number of pole changeouts to deal with aging infrastructure.
Line conversion projects. That sounds complex. What's the long-term benefit for the member?
Well, it's the difference between being reactive and proactive. Line conversion might mean moving overhead lines underground in certain areas or upgrading older lines to modern materials that are more resilient to storms.
So fewer outages.
Fewer outages, less costly damage to repair after a storm, and just better performance overall, a direct impact on your life.
And the fiber system's getting attention too.
They're budgeting for continued network expansion, improved customer onboarding, and enhanced support. And, crucially, they're investing in their team.
What does that investment look like?
They specifically mention safety training, including complex exercises like pole-top rescues and general professional development.
Pole-top rescue training. It sounds intense.
It is. It's the gold standard for utility safety. It ensures that if an employee is injured way up on a pole, their colleague can safely and quickly get them down. It shows a commitment to the highest level of workplace safety.
Which ultimately means higher skill and reliability out in the field.
Exactly. The focus for 2026 is clearly on strengthening the grid's backbone.
Before we get into community power, we have to mention the fun detail the magazine snuck in, the co-op kitchen recipe.
Yes, the chocolate chunk toasted marshmallow ginger cookies. What stood out to me was the level of technique they encouraged.
It wasn't just a simple recipe.
No, they called for specific ingredients like blackstrap molasses and included instructions for making brown butter, taking the butter just to the point where the milk solids caramelize. It gives it this deep, nutty flavor.
It's a wonderful, cozy reminder that connectivity isn't just about fiber speed. It's about connection in the community and the kitchen.
And that ties perfectly into the cooperative spirit in action. The sources celebrated a huge community achievement. The Operation Roundup program surpassed the $1 million mark in grants awarded to local nonprofits.
$1 million. That's an astonishing milestone, and it's achieved just by members choosing to round their electric bill up to the nearest dollar.
If your bill is $98.40, you pay $99, and that 60 cents goes into the fund.
It's small, sustainable change translated into this monumental force.
It's proof that a simple opt-in mechanism allows the entire membership to become this constant, quiet engine for charity in the community.
And the REMC Connect magazine really brought that to life by spotlighting some inspiring member stories from 2025.
Yeah, we heard about Stephen and Charla McAvoy, known for their incredible inflatable Wonderland display.
With over 500 inflatables.
Yeah.
Just a pure dose of holiday joy.
And the incredible legacy of the Vorbroker family, celebrating 153 years of farming heritage in Ohio County.
Tracing their roots back to 1872. That's powerful.
And then there's the work of Terry and Kathy Baudendistel, who operate Wolf Creek Habitat, a sanctuary for rescued wolves and wolf dogs. They focus on education, on challenging those old stereotypes.
These stories just underscore the resilience and incredible variety of life within the co-op.
And the employees themselves were out there too, assembling co-op comfort kits for local shelters like Heart House and Safe Passage, and holding a food drive. It reinforces that the cooperative spirit is something that's lived out every day.
So as we wrap up 2025 and look toward the new year, what does this all mean? We've seen this clear line. Community action hit a $1 million milestone. Smart savings are being driven by programs like the free ecobee and the $50 rebate. And future reliability is being secured through defined cyber tips and targeted 2026 upgrades.
The entire package really speaks to the theme of wellness and sustainability. The magazine encourages members to reflect, refresh, renew. It's a reminder that wellness, whether it's personal or community-wide, it isn't about some sudden dramatic perfection. It's a journey of small, sustainable changes.
Like practicing gratitude, or setting aside time for movement, or just prioritizing downtime.
Exactly. Building growth that lasts not just until January 1st, but all year long.
And that brings us to our final thought. The CEO's closing note stated that the co-op's progress only happens when they move forward together.
So considering that path to personal wellness requires small, sustainable changes, like unplugging one device or making time to move every day, and knowing that community progress is built on small, recurring investments, like rounding up a bill.
How can applying that principle of small, sustainable changes be scaled up to ensure collective progress for the whole community in 2026? Think about how those minor, consistent habits you adopt for yourself could be mirrored in your approach to community investment and engagement over the next year.